Hello everyone, welcome back. In our last video, we had talked about vinyasa and all the different modifications that you could pick and choose from. So I hope you had a little bit of time to play around with the different variations, and hopefully you have chosen a variation of a vinyasa that will work for you. In today's video, I would like to show you where you can put that into your flow. So we'll do a very short, simple sequence. We've seen the sequence before. And we'll do one time without adding the vinyasa, and then we'll revisit it and put in the vinyasas. And I'll pretty much tell you all the opportunities that you could put in that vinyasa that we talked about last week. Now, by all means, you don't have to do every single one, but what I want to do is show you where you could put it in if you decided to add that into your practice. So again, you don't have to, but I'm hoping that when you see the two compared side by side, as we're going to do now, it will be pretty apparent and pretty obvious, I hope, where you can easily put it in to give yourself that little extra if you want. So in today's practice, I thought we would start in a sit position. So find whatever modification of the sit position is going to work for you at this moment. I'm using my bolster. Pardon me. You can use your block. You can use nothing at all. If there's nothing handy, you can just sit cross-legged. But all I want you to do is find a space that you could settle yourself into. Always at the beginning of our practice, no matter how long the practice is going to be, we still want to take a moment or two just to kind of relax and bring ourselves more present to this space. We want to take a second or two to allow our minds and our bodies to push away the distractions that are going on in your life right now. And doing the best you can to relax something in your body. It can be even the smallest little thing. Can you get to a space where something softens? And even taking these few moments at the beginning of your practice is an opportunity for you to soften in your mind as well. We all have many things going on in our lives right now. But for the few moments that we are going to be here on our mat, can we try to bring awareness to here and now? So as you try to soften, as you try to relax, notice those sticky spots. Notice those stubborn spots, the ones that keep gripping, keep holding, no matter how hard you try. For you, is it your jaws? Is it your shoulders? Maybe it's your hips. Whatever that sticky spot is, do the best you can to slightly soften. Notice the breath. Maybe it's slowed down. Maybe it's quite easy for you to breathe here. And it's that nice, comfortable breath that we would like to bring to our mat. So when we get challenged in our poses, in our flow, and if we think it's too much for us, just remember the breath, how it is right now. Nice and easy and smooth. And maybe that will help you through a difficult portion of our flow. Take a few more cycles of breath here. And just feel the ease. Slowly and gently, just give yourself a little bit of movement, a little bit of wiggle jiggle in the hips, knees, feet. Readjust those feet if you need to. Open the eyes. Have a soft gaze. It doesn't have to be too intense right now. We're still at the beginning of our stage. And we want to gently coax our body into a little bit more movement. I'll start off with the hands on the knees, thighs, and with your inhale, take that left hand up overhead and just reach up toward the sky as best as you can. Feel the extension on that left side of your body. Try not to make it too intense right now. Just get a little bit of length in that arm, spine, and then release the left arm down to your side and relax it back on your thigh. Inhale, right arm reaches up towards the sky. Notice if you're jamming your shoulder in your ear. See if you can soften that shoulder away from you, but still get that length. Find where it's going to work for you. Breathe. Don't hold your breath. Feel the extension on the right side. And then with your exhale, release the hand back down. Now we'll take both hands. Inhale, both arms up to the sky. And again, maybe your arms reach. And they don't quite go all the way up to the sky, but they're more in this wide V. Just find what's comfortable for you, the range of motion that's going to work. And with your exhale, release the hands back down, just kind of lightly tapping the floor. Twice more like that. Inhale, keep the neutral spine, reach up as far as you can. And as you exhale, release the hands back down towards the floor. One more time. Inhale, lifting, reaching. And then as you exhale, release the hands back down to the floor. Just give your shoulders a little wiggle jiggle, maybe a little shrug up and down, maybe a couple of little circles. And just notice how that simple little movement with the arms feels in the shoulders. We are going to be using our shoulders and our arms today, so we want to definitely make sure that they are ready for that. Make your way into tabletop. So either swing your feet around or come over your knees. Set yourself up so that your hands are comfortable. Try to have the hands underneath the shoulders. Try to have your knees underneath the hips as best as you can. Roll those triceps in. Open up the collarbone, starting off in our tabletop, and just a few cat-cows here. So inhale, keep that engaged belly as you drop it down and take the gaze forward slightly, lifting the tailbone. And with your exhale, tuck the tailbone, arch the spine, curve it up towards the sky as you tuck the chin in towards your chest. Inhale to open up the front side of the body. And exhale, close the front side of the body. choosing which variation works best for you in regards to your feet. How much of an arch is comfortable for you right now at the beginning of our practice? Depending on how you feel today, you might notice that you can go a little deeper than you did yesterday or the last time you did a practice, or maybe it's less. It all depends on how you feel at this moment. One more cycle of cat-cow. And then come to that neutral tabletop. Remember, you can always take a break in child's pose or any other pose that is easy for you, where you can take a break at any time. But we're going to continue here. From our tabletop, inhale that left leg back behind you. Have the toes flex down towards the floor as if you're pushing out with your heel. Try to keep those ribs in, engaged belly, and then extend that right hand away from you towards the front of the mat. Try not to arch too much in the back, in your neck. Try to keep that neutral spine. Try to keep those hips relatively parallel with the floor and just get a little bit of an extension. And with your exhale, hands and knee back to the floor. Readjust if you need to. So we're in tabletop again. Inhale, extend that right leg back behind you, about hip height or somewhere close to that. Push away through the heel, toes pointing down to the floor. Extend that left hand if you can. Palm is reaching in towards the center of your mat, so your thumb is facing upward and your pinky finger is facing down. Again, notice if you're arching one way or the other. See what you can do to maintain that nice neutral spine. You might notice from one side to the other, there's a difference. Do what you can to even it out. Exhale, come back to your tabletop. And if you need to take a little bit of break off the wrist, maybe you just come out of it and give them a little bit of a wiggle jiggle. Depending on how you feel today, that may have already put a little bit too much pressure and you need to take a break. It's not a problem. You take a break whenever you need it. Come back into that tabletop and we'll do that one more time. So inhale, left leg, right arm extends forward and back. And with an exhale, back to tabletop. Inhale, right leg and left arm extends. And exhale, back into tabletop. One more time each side. Left leg, right arm inhales to extend. Exhale, brings it back to tabletop. Right leg, left arm extends. Exhale, back to tabletop. Tuck the toes under, plant your hands, wrap the triceps, take an inhale to prepare, and then exhale yourself up into downward facing dog. And again, your first one might need some adjusting. You might notice that the knees have to be bent a little bit more. Look to see where you can find some length in your spine first, and then have some extension in your knees. Again, your first one might be the least prettiest, but who cares about it being pretty? We want the spine to get some sort of extension here. That's our purpose here. Finish your cycle of breath here, so finish your exhale, and with your inhale, start to baby step those feet forward. Remember, we're trying to lift the belly so that we can walk those feet a little closer towards the front of the mat into our forward fold. Inhale up to the flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a standing position. Arms reach up overhead. Palms meet. Exhaling down through heart center and down by your sides, mountain pose. Make any adjustments that you think might make you more comfortable, more sturdy, more stacked up in that nice neutral spine. Finish your exhale. And with your inhale, scoop the arms up. As you exhale, dive forward into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Try to get the fingers to touch the floor. An extra cycle of breath here. Notice if you can get the top of your head a little bit closer to the floor. Maybe your nose is a little closer to your thighs. Feel that extension in the back. Keep breathing, soften. Finish your exhale with an inhale. Come up to a standing position, taking your time, softening the knees if you need, reaching the arms up overhead, palms meet down through heart center with your exhale. Mountain pose again. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, dive forward in your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, left leg back behind you and drop the back knee. Remember, adjust the feet if you need to get into that nice low lunge. When you're ready, inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, hands frame the front foot. And I'm going to keep the left hand there on the floor. I'm going to inhale the right arm forward and up. And exhale the right arm back and down. And I'm going to continue with my circle. Inhaling to go up half the circle. Exhaling to come back down. So I'm rotating through my shoulder. 2 more times like that. Inhaling to extend. Exhaling to lower. 1 more time. Inhale, arm reach up. Exhale, down. 1 more to get the hand up and stop in this twist and see what you can do to extend the arm. Maybe take the gaze up towards the arm if the neck is feeling comfortable. If not, keep the low gaze. Exhale, hand back down to the floor. Straighten out the torso. Lift that back knee, and we're going to step back to our downward facing dog. Remember, you can take a break here. You can take your child's pose. What is going to make you more comfortable? If you're in down dog, remember, lengthen the spine here. The legs will come later. Full cycle of breath here. And if you're not in downward facing dog already, make your way up to downward facing dog. And then with your inhale, once again, baby step those feet forward to your forward fold. Inhale up to your flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a standing position. Arms reach, palms meet. Exhaling down through heart center, mountain pose. Take a full cycle of breath here. Readjust the shoulders. Try to stack up the body. With your next inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, right leg back behind you. Drop the back knee. Readjust so that you are in your low lunge. And when you're ready, inhale, arms reach up. Then exhale, hands go down, frame the front foot. Keep the right hand on the floor. Now with the left arm, inhale to reach forward and up. Getting a nice rotation in the shoulder. Exhale, reach back and down. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. And again, only go to the range of motion in your shoulder that's comfortable for you right now. Maybe your circle is more narrower. Do what you can. One more full cycle. And then a half. And inhale to reach the hand up and hold here. See what you can do to get a little bit more out of that twist. Again, maybe looking up if it's comfortable. If not, take the gaze down. Again, arm is reaching, but keep it nice and soft. Exhale, hand goes down to the floor. Lift that back knee. Step forward this time to your forward fold. Inhale to the flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a standing position. Arms reach. Palms come down through heart center. Mountain pose. Give yourself a little bit of a break. Remember, if you need a drink, take a drink when you need. Readjust if you want to change your position, if something is going to make you feel better, more sturdy, more comfortable. We'll just take a moment or two, a couple of breaths, just to ground ourselves once again. How do the shoulders feel? How do the legs feel? How does the spine feel? Are we ready to do a little bit more? Come to stillness in your mountain pose. And then with your inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, left leg back behind you. This time, if you can, stay up in your high lunge. And then when you're ready, inhale, arms reach up. Lift yourself up, crescent lunge. And again, as you're reaching up, find the softness as well as the strength. What does your crescent lunge look like at this moment? A full cycle of breath here. Inhale, and as you exhale, frame the front foot, and we're going to step back to our downward facing dog. We're going to rest here, or find a different position that you can rest in. Where can you catch your breath? If you're in down dog, remember, spine lengthener. Are you still breathing? If you're not in down dog, make your way to down dog. Finish your exhale. Baby step once again, those feet forward to your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a standing position. Exhale, hands down through heart center, mountain pose. Right away, inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, right leg back. Try to keep that back knee lifted if possible. Once your legs are nice and sturdy, inhale the torso up. Reach the arms if you can. Find your version of high crescent lunge. Notice your breathing. Is it all tight, shallow, just in one area? See if that breath can still flow nice and smooth. One more cycle, inhaling here. And as you exhale, frame the front foot, step back to your downward facing dog. And if you need, take a break in tabletop or child's pose. What does your body need right now? Maybe the wrists need to come out of that down dog. Maybe your shoulders need a little bit of a break. What do you need at this moment? So we'll take about 2 or 3 cycles of breath just to take a little bit of a break before we add on a little bit more to that sequence. So take a little inventory of how you feel. Do you need to change any of your modifications? Do you want to add more, take away? You decide. And when you're ready, make your way back up into downward facing dog. Finish your breath. Inhale, baby step those feet forward into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a standing position, palms meet. Exhale, down through heart center, mountain pose. Taking your inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, left leg back behind you. This time for sure, keep the back knee lifted. Once you're sturdy, inhale up to your crescent lunge. And then as you exhale, open up into warrior two. Make any adjustments that's going to be more suitable for you. Make sure that the hips are open, arms are reaching, but they're soft. A full cycle of breath here. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the hands to the floor, frame that front foot, step back to your downward facing dog. 3 cycles of breath here to rest. Where do you need to rest? Where can you take those 3 breaths most comfortably? What kind of movement do you need? Is it stillness that you prefer? Finish that exhale. And once again, with your inhale, baby step those feet forward into your forward fold. Inhale up to the flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale up to a standing position. Hands exhale down through heart center to mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, right leg back behind you. Keep that back knee lifted. We know where we're going to transition. Inhale up to your high crescent lunge, whichever version is suitable for you. And with your exhale, open up into that warrior two. And once again, in that warrior two, what modification is best suited for you? Make sure that the hips are open to the side of your mat. Make sure that that front knee is in a good position. And see if those arms could be at shoulder height. Sometimes that back arm has a tendency to be a little lazy. Do what you can to keep that spine nice and long. Take one more breath here. Inhale. And as you exhale, windmill those hands back down to the floor. Frame that front foot and step yourself back to your downward facing dog once again. Finish your cycle of breath and then release down into your version of a child's pose, whichever version is going to suit you best right now. Do you want to soften the shoulders? Do you want the arms extended? Do you want to have soft arms and hands? Which knee position works best for you? We want to make sure that we give our bodies a little bit of a rest here. So check in with your breath. Has the shape that you have chosen, is it allowing you to catch your breath? Is it allowing you to come back to that nice, smooth breath? It's an opportunity for you to see where you're feeling tight still, where perhaps something has loosened up. Maybe it's the time that you need to take a little sip of water. But don't forget to breathe. Take 2 more cycles of breath here in rest. And then if your torso is down in that child's pose, just lift the torso just for a second or two in hero's pose where you're just sitting on your heels. If you need a little bit of prop, we won't be here for very long. So that was the simple sequence, and we did not add any vinyasas there. We basically came back to downward facing dog to take our rest. Maybe you did child's pose instead. But now what I want to do is do that same little sequence again, and I want to tell you and show you where you can insert that vinyasa. Now, I'm going to show you pretty much all the little spaces that you can put it in. You may not be ready to put a vinyasa into every single one of them, but I want to show you where that space is. If you're not up for that, by all means, you could come back to downward facing dog, wait, and rest in downward facing dog. If that is even too much for you, by all means, come back to downward facing dog for the one breath, and then come into something else, a child's pose, and take your rest there. I just want to show you where you could add in your vinyasa, and by all means, choose the modification that's going to work for you as we keep adding more and more. You might notice that your first vinyasa is one modification, and then we get to the third or fourth one, and you might think, I need to change my modification because of this or that, whatever the reason is. So if you think you have to stay with one version only, no, you can mix it up. That's why we went through all of those different modifications in our last video, so that you can pick and choose what you need at that moment. Yeah? You want to give it a go? All right, so if you're ready, make your way back into downward facing dog. So again, hands are nice and sturdy. And again, you're going to pick always the modification that works for you. In our first sequence, we baby stepped forward. Do you need that again, or can we try stepping our foot forward? I'm going to go with that variation, and hopefully you can come along with me. So inhale, right leg up to the sky. And as you exhale, step it through to your lunge position. Do you need to make any adjustments? Inhale yourself up to your high crescent lunge. And as you exhale, frame the front foot. Step back to your downward facing dog. Now, this is where you can stay and rest. But this is also one of the first places that we can add in one of our vinyasas. So if your hands are nice and sturdy and you're willing to give it a go, here we go. Come forward to your plank. Exhale to lower yourself all the way down to the floor. Extend the legs. Adjust the hands. Inhale into your back bend. Remember, elbows up to the sky. Lift the heart, head. Roll the shoulders back. This is your back bend. This is a baby cobra. And as you exhale, release back down to the floor. I'm going to tuck my toes back under. Push yourself back up into that half plank, maybe your full plank, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Do you need a rest already? Take it if you need it. We're going to take 2 breaths here, adjusting what we need. Making the little movements that suits us at this moment. Finish your exhale in downward facing dog. And with your next inhale, left leg reaches up towards the sky. With your exhale, step it forward. Remember, if it doesn't make it, help it along. Find your lunge position. Come up with your inhale. Remember, maybe the hands have to be a little different this time because maybe they're already tired. If you can, arms reach up, high crescent lunge. Exhale, frame the front foot. Bring that left foot back to your downward facing dog. And once again, you can rest right here. You can wait right here. But if you would like to add in another vinyasa, here's your opportunity to add in yet another one. Inhale, come forward to your plank. Exhale, lower yourself down. Inhale into your back bend. Remember, push into the tops of the feet, push into the hands, and find the variation that works best for you. Pike yourself up through plank into downward facing dog. And now we're back in the same spot, downward facing dog. Yes, makes sense? So you could have been here waiting for those who did the vinyasa, and now we're still in the same spot. Drop the knees back down to the floor. Take a little breather. Take the weight out of the hands, wrists. So hopefully you can see in that one little pose, we went into high crescent lunge. We could have 2 extra vinyasas. So you can see, hopefully, where you could build a little heat. Yeah? You can add a little bit of work for your shoulders. You might be at a spot where, you know what, those vinyasas are like, nope, can't do it, I'm not ready. Remember how we did before from downward dog into plank? And then maybe you go back into downward facing dog. That might be the variation that you pick right now. Yeah? So you pick and choose what's going to work best for you as we progress. Yeah? Let's see what we can do. Let's get back into downward facing dog. With your inhale, right leg lifts up towards the sky. And as you exhale, step it through into that lunge position. I'm going high crescent lunge again. Inhale, up, arms reach. Exhale, open up into warrior 2 for a cycle. Here's your exhale. So a full cycle of breath. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling. And as you exhale, take the hands to frame the front foot, lift the back heel, step back to your downward facing dog. Again, you can rest here. We're going for yet another vinyasa. Which modification are you going to go with? You're going to inhale yourself forward to a plank. Exhale to lower yourself all the way down. Inhale to lift up into your back bend. And then exhale to pike yourself through tabletop, back up into downward facing dog. Breathe here. Is child's pose where you need to rest? So we're going to go on the other side. What modification is going to work for you? Finish your exhale. With your inhale, left leg lifts. As you exhale, step that left foot forward into your lunge. Make the adjustments that you need. Come up into your high crescent lunge. And then exhale, open up into warrior 2. So again, How are those hips feeling? How is that front lunge feeling? How are the arms feeling? Maybe they need to be somewhere else. Yes? Inhale here, and as you exhale, windmill the hands to frame your front foot. Step back to your downward facing dog. And again, there we are, resting if you need. If you can, let's put in another vinyasa. Inhaling to come forward to your plank. Exhaling to lower yourself down to the floor. Inhaling to lift into your back bend. Is it cobra? Is it upward facing dog? How does your spine feel? Pike yourself back up into down dog. Where can you rest? Is at this point your downward facing dog feeling okay? Do you need a different variation? Do you need something else to take the break? I'd like to try that one more time. So, do you have the energy? If we did it one more time, what modification would suit you best? Maybe you're at a point right now where you're thinking, Shavasana sounds really good, and that's fine too. Yeah? I'm going to challenge you. Let's see if we can do that little sequence again, crescent lunge, warrior two, and let's see how many of those vinyasas you are able to put in. Let's see, is it going to be one, none? I don't know, let's see, how many can we put in? Let's take an inventory of how we feel, and let's see what we have. Remember, just do what you can. Here we go, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up to the sky. As you exhale, step it forward into your lunge. Inhale, up to your high crescent lunge. Exhale, hands frame the front foot. Step back to your downward facing dog. You can rest here or come forward to your plank. Exhale, lower yourself down. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale, up, back into downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it through. Make the adjustments if you need. Inhale, up to your high crescent lunge. Exhale, hands come back down to the floor. Frame the front foot. Step back to your downward facing dog. Or come forward to your plank. That's your inhale. As you exhale, lower yourself down. Inhale into your version of your back bend. Exhale, back up into downward facing dog. 2 cycles of breath here to rest. On your next inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it through into your lunge position. Inhale, up to your high crescent lunge. Exhale, open up into warrior two. Inhale. And as you exhale, windmill the hands. Step back to your downward facing dog. You can rest here or forward with your inhale. Lower with your exhale. Back bend with your inhale. Exhale, pike back up into downward facing dog. Left leg lifts with your inhale. As you exhale, step it through. Adjust it if you need. Inhale up to your high crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale here. And as you exhale, windmill the hands. Frame the front foot, lift that back heel. Step back to your downward facing dog. You can rest here or you know we can come forward. Inhale to your plank. Exhale to lower down. Inhale up to your back bend. And exhale, bring yourself back up into downward facing dog. Drop the knees down. And take a rest where you need to rest. Is it child's pose? Do you need maybe a prop to help you rest? You just want to take a breath or two here with a flexion in our back. Sometimes those back bends creates a little bit of tension. So here we want to have that curve in our spine as a counter measure. And it gives you a chance to recover your breath. And by all means, you can stay right here. If you would like to get a little bit more comfortable to make your way into Shavasana, lift the torso. Bring your feet around to the front. Again, find the space that's most suited for you on your mat. Maybe at this point you want to put some socks on. Maybe you want to use your blankie to keep you warm. Maybe you're overheating and you're thinking, I'd like to take off a couple of layers. What is going to suit you to come down to your Shavasana? I'm going to make my way down. I'm definitely going to find a shoulder space or a shoulder shape or a feeling that I can soften my shoulders, because my arms might be a little tired. If we put in all of those vinyasas, we might notice a difference in our hands, our arms, our shoulders. So find the shape that you will be able to rest in. And I want you to take at least 10 cycles of breath here. And don't worry about counting them. I'll guide you back when it's time. But give yourself plenty of opportunity to release. You want your legs to soften. You want your hips to soften. You want your torso relaxed. You want your shoulders to definitely take a break. You want to allow that breath to come back to that smooth, easy pace. The work effort is done. This is your opportunity to let go, to allow your body to absorb all of those movements. It's not the opportunity for you to look at all the negative things. It is the opportunity to thank yourself, thank your body for whatever it gave you, whatever modification, whatever shape you took. Thank your body for giving you that. And as the breath slows down, how do you feel? Do you feel the same as when we first started the practice? Do you feel more mobile? Do you feel more space within your spine, in your body? Did you push it maybe a little bit too far today? Maybe you held back because you were scared. It doesn't matter. The main point is you did something. Next time will be different. But you came to your mat, you did some movement, and you should be proud of that. Without moving just yet, start to bring awareness back to your breath in case you've wandered off a little bit. Deepen the breath. Sipping in a little bit more in that inhale, and then letting it go through the exhale. Once more like that. A nice big inhale. And let it go in your exhale. If you're in your Shavasana, slowly start to move those limbs, fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. If you're in a sit position, stay there and just maybe move through the hands and wrists, maybe some shoulder movements. And we'll all come to a sit position on our own time. Take your time coming up from Shavasana. Sometimes you need really slow movement here. Once we find the sit position that's going to work for us for the next few seconds, sit nice and tall and just inhale the arms to reach up overhead, doing the best you can to reach a little bit higher. Maybe notice a difference from the beginning of your practice. As you exhale, release the hands back down to the floor. Once more like that. Just feel the shoulders. Inhaling, reaching up. At the top, allow the palms to meet, and as you exhale, hands down through heart center. They can stay here at heart center, or you can find something a little bit more suitable for you at this moment. We'll take one more cleansing breath here. A nice big inhale. And as you exhale, release. We finish our practice here, honoring the light within. Namaste. How do you feel after that? So I hope that you can see where you can put in that vinyasa. And again, the modifications that we went over, those are not all of the modifications. There are still a few more that we can add in, but I thought that would give you plenty of options to piece together what's going to work for you to start working on strengthening the arms and the shoulders. We'll get into those more advanced poses a little bit later on, but for now, I think that's the stage that we are at. And I hope that you start adding those vinyasas in. And again, I don't want to pressure you. If you're not up for it, by all means, stay in that down dog until you're ready to add in what you're ready to add in, right? We never want to push our bodies so far that we're injured. We don't want to get injured in our yoga practice. That's kind of defeating the purpose. We want to feel better after our practice. So I think that's it for today's video. And we will start adding those vinyasas where we can into our flows. And then we'll see how we feel with our practice and how it progresses. So I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.